Welcome to the market update for the 23rd of August 2022. Sorry for a little bit of a late delay on this one. I'm about a day or two behind when the week actually closed on crypto, but I have some good news because that delay actually gave some good confirmation that support has come into the market. This video is not financial, trading, or investment advice in any way, shape, or form. This is purely for entertainment and for educational purposes only. Always remember that forecasting in any sector is incredibly difficult, but the financial sector is by far and away the most difficult to forecast. My analysis is based off Gann and Wyckoff methodologies. If you're a fan of altcoin reviews in an honest format, then you've come to the right place, and every week I cover the market update. Lastly, it's not about being right or wrong that matters. It's about what you do when you're right or wrong that matters most. All right, let's get to today's crypto. If you're familiar with my channel, I talk a lot about confirmation, volume. I talk about you just got to wait for the support to come. It could come tomorrow. It could come a week from now. You have to wait for that signal to come. The more signals, obviously, the more reliable. But we've actually got a really good signal that just came out yesterday that support has once again come into the market to support the price. This has me really bullish on the price of crypto at the moment because we're just going through a churning period, and that normally means accumulation is happening, which is basically the whales buying up as much Bitcoin, ETH, and other altcoins as much as they can, ready for the next bull run. I still don't think we're going to get a bull run in 2020-22, but it's nice to know that the low isn't too far from where we currently are. It's a really great place to start accumulating some of the really, really good crypto. Be careful with the word cryptos because I mainly mean Bitcoin and ETH right now. There are still some good trades to be had there if you really know what you're doing. However, just have good risk management in place. That comes above all else. Let's start off with the market update with Bitcoin. So Bitcoin, we've been playing around this chart for a while. You can see here, we went above our 50%. We came tumbling down. We had a massive, massive sell-off on the 19th of August, 10% in the day, high open, low close. You can see that no support came into the market to really support the price. This bar here on the 20th of August really had me worried because you can see we got rejected at our 50 pretty much perfectly, and we had high volume and we closed mid on the bar. So this bar actually looked really weak to me when I saw it because it just screams weakness. High volume, mid on the bar close, rejected at the 50 means it's down. Then you get the next day on the 21st of August where you actually get some decent volume, about average volume, slightly below. Again, a little bit more higher on the bar this time, closes above the 50, which is good. But then the next day you get a sell-off. But this is a very, very strong bar, guys. Do not be fooled. This bar is incredibly strong because this, if you look at it, you have a very long tail end. You have a very, very long bar dropping price, which means that the market came in to support the price, push the price up. So Bitcoin actually should have closed somewhere around here, somewhere in that 20K region if the market didn't come to support it. But it did, and it got right back, bought back right up, closed on the 50, almost on point at 21.5K, call it. And that is strength right there. So really, really happy with that. Now what happens in the market? Now we get our test, right? We get our test. What is the test? It means now the market has come in to buy up the supply. Now we have to see if there's any more supply in the market before we start getting up higher again. If you look at the bar here on the 30th of June, you can see we had a similar bar, a very long tail, right? The price should have dropped a lot more. We had above average volume, okay, here on the 30th of June. We had a long tail, we closed up very high. The next day, we try to go up in price, too much selling, and then we get our test on the 2nd of July. That's the test, right? That means there's no supply. You can see very low volume. And then from there, we went up, tested supply again, still managed to make a higher low than before, and we started to go on this run. Alternatively, sometimes we can get something like this, but it's rare, where we get another long tail, which means that we had above average volume. Market came in to support the price. You had a very good strong close. The next day, immediately you get the breakout. Immediately. That can happen, but it's rare. Normally, the market likes to test supply before pushing prices higher. You can see we had our breakout, came back, had tried to go up for another breakout, but too much selling came into the market. Again, closed good, low supply. So you can see the tests are really, really good times to tell yourself how much supply is there of Bitcoin. Of course, then we started to show some major weakness, and that's when I did my last week's market update when I said Bitcoin was just looking weak because now we have the opposite. Instead of a long tail, we have a very long head where basically the price is trying to go up and you get closer. That's called an upthrust. And then you have another one here, you have another one here, you have another one here, you have another one here. And at that point, you're really free falling because all the demand just can't keep up with the supply. There's just too much supply. Then you get your major crash. Once you get your major crash, okay, now we have to see how much supply is on the market, how much demand is for the market. And that's where I go into from the start of the video, where we start to get some support come to the market. But this bar really shows strength in it. So hopefully this explains things. We're in a very churning period, guys, right? Every day we can get something different, sometimes every week, every month. But because this is such a major area of Bitcoin at the moment with support, you're getting a lot of choppiness. So great time to start dollar cost averaging, not financial advice, in my opinion, to Bitcoin and ETH. Only those two. Everything else is a lot more choppy, but we'll cover the altcoins in a little bit. Let's have a look at ETH. ETH is in a much, much more stronger position than Bitcoin. You can see there's your 50% coming in at ETH at that $1,455. And you can see we didn't even have to test it. Bitcoin, we had to test our 50. So you can see the yellow golden line. Big shout out to Michael and Jason Pizzino for their 50% tools. It's a GAN rule, but they just did it really well on their YouTube channels. So you can see 50% came in, didn't even have to test it. There it is. But very similar to Bitcoin, you had your long tail. You had your long tail end and you closed incredibly strong. Notice how the bar is green, which means we actually closed up higher. Bitcoin didn't. Bitcoin closed slightly lower. You can see the bar's red. So ETH is in a much more stronger positions. This is why it doesn't matter about transaction speeds and gas fees. And just look at what the market is supporting. Why are the whales choosing to support ETH more than Bitcoin? You don't know, but you can see it, right? You can see it in the volume. You can see it in the close. That's what matters. Okay, so now we're just going to be going through a supply time where we're going to test supply. Hence, we're going down a little bit for the day, but that's okay, right? We have to see what the market gives. What I don't want to see is we want to see this area broken down. This is going to be support for ETH for now, okay? Around that $1,500-ish. That's going to be support for ETH right now, right underneath these bars, because that coincides with the low bar of the 20th of August and the low bar of the 22nd of August. So you can see. Now we have to see if that's going to happen. If the support breaks, like I said, 1455 is next area of support. Next area of support below that is 1350, which is very similar to what we had before. And you can see just how well the stopping volume really works, because you can see even here it worked, right? We had a long tail, closed up high on the bar, immediate breakout, immediate breakout. Like I said, you might not always get the immediate breakout the next day, but that's not the point. The point is it's a sign of strength because the market came in to support the price. This should have dropped a lot more lower, similar to Bitcoin. Let's have a look at ETH dominance because it really shows you the dominance of the alts in general. We'll have a look at total one, market cap 1 and 2, but you can see ETH dominance barely even getting shaken out at all since mid-July. Really, really strong. ETH versus BTC, you can see ETH putting in very, very strong gains. We haven't seen this kind of performance since basically May, which is incredibly good to see. BTC dominance really getting hit really, really hard. I mean, you can see going to 40% dominance at this point. Alts should be roaring a lot more, but people are just leaving crypto because, like, you know, the economy is suffering, recessions and all that sort of stuff. So investors are a little bit more conservative at this point. Still, there are some smart players in crypto, but just not as much as obviously in a bull run. USDT dominance continues to go up. There was the 50% coming in at 5.12%. Didn't have to manage it. I've drawn two 50% here, one at 6.5%, and you can see we cut it. So we're in a very weird position where stablecoins have had its breakout at the 19th of August. You can see that's the bar right here. Okay, increased by 10% in the day. And then you can see going sideways now. We'll see if we come back to test this 50% at 6.38%. And then there's the breakout bar, which will be support at roughly around that 6.15%. Next support coming at 6.5%. So I know that's probably a bit of a confusing chart, but all you need to know about USDT is that it's going through a sideways period. Hopefully it doesn't go much higher than it is now. Double top coming in at 7.13%. So hard to call USDT at the moment. That's why we look at USDC, because it's, in my opinion, usually more cleaner to look at on a chart. And you can see rejected the 50% cleanly. You want your stablecoin dominance to be down. If stablecoin dominance is down, it means they're flowing into alts. Speaking of alts, which are some of the altcoins I'm looking for the week? Well, I thought I'd do a quick update on chiliz because I did a video on it and it did quite well. So I know a lot of people are looking at chiliz. Chiliz did have its breakout yesterday. I did mention that sometimes you'll get a breakout when you have selling. Okay, you'll have high sell-off periods. You're either looking for one of two signals to show that it's the end. Either you're getting decreased selling, so you're looking for a bar like this to show that it's, you know, there's not much selling left in the market, or you're looking for a breakout bar which completely destroys all the selling, showing that there's high demand for chiliz, which is what we got. It's a more rare signal, but we got it here. The thing that I don't like about chiliz is that we are having a triple top player, and you can see it pretty much on point. There it is. Rejection, rejection, rejection. That's not to say it always will be rejected, right? Maybe it can go up tomorrow, but typically these ones are very, very high risk plays because you are literally buying at the market top. The market hasn't had this top since basically April. So you want to be very, very careful in this cycle. You're really buying at a very high level. So you might want to wait for a bit of a pullback or just stay away completely because, like I said, these are very, very high risk plays because you're literally getting it right at the top, right at its rejection point. Maybe tomorrow it goes up 50%, happy days. But it's all about your risk management and how well you trust your tools. And for me, I typically don't like these ones. If it was a bull market, different story. But in a bear market, it's just gotten too high. And this thing is waiting for a major correction at some point. Could happen tomorrow, could happen the next day. But at the moment, like I said, it's just too risky at this point. But so far, it's looking good because this breakout bar really did wipe out these two red bars down. But it couldn't wipe out this third bar. If it wiped out this third bar and really closed like that, it's on. It's on. We're going probably high. But because it didn't, you know, get rid of these two bars here, it is still a bit of a sign of rejection. But like I said, it's still a bit of a breakout. Be cautious with your chiliz, guys. I don't like it. It's just too much risk to handle. And it's just at that level, I would rather just invest into something that's more safe. Let's have a look at something that is more safer, not financial advice, and that is CRV. So CRV is one that I quite like. So remember I was showing you how they have long tails, Bitcoin and ETH. Look at CRV. CRV had a long tail, you had above average volume, so the market came in to support the price of CRV and you closed above the 50%. Today, hopefully, we'll see where we're at. We'll probably get a test at the 50% sometime, or we might never look back and maybe put in a lower high and continue going higher. I drew that really bad, but like something like that, okay? And then we'll get the double top or the top play out, and then we'll see if we can break it or not. But major support came in, and you can see a very, very, very strong close, right? Opened, went down, got supported all the way back up. Very, very high, strong, good close right at the top on good volume. That's strength. And the last crypto for the week is actually AVAX, very, very similar. You can see really held up fantastic on its 50%. So you can see we actually closed above our 50% once, twice, thrice, 4 times. So really good strength. AVAX has proven that it's holding above its 50%. And this is the beauty, right? Your risk is so low. Remember I showed you chiliz? Chiliz is right at the top, right? You can easily lose 10, 15, 20% very, very quickly with that crypto. Whereas with something like AVAX, you're right at the 50, your stop loss is only 5%, 6%. It's not much. And your gains is just as much as chiliz, if not more, because there you go. If you go to the next top, that's 11%, 20%, 28%, 35%. You know, if you go all the way to the top and you're greedy enough for it and it actually goes there, then there you go. That's almost 40%. That's what I mean by your risk to reward ratio. It's getting something that has really found support, looking really beautiful. You're seeing really low volume selling for AVAX. Hence, it's a good buy at the moment. It's just something I'm looking at. It's not financial advice. Finally, we'll just look at total market cap 1, 2, and 3. So you can see total 1 includes all cryptos bouncing off 50% beautifully. Like I said, there's your tail coming up, proven itself multiple times above the 50. Total market cap 2 bouncing off its 50 as well. Total market cap 3 as well. You know, touching its 50, dropping a little bit below because ETH and Bitcoin aren't supporting it, but still respect it. It's above its 50 at the time of this recording. So things are looking still very good. Like I said, support has come to the market. Really good cryptos to buy, but ETH and Bitcoin are still just too good of a value, in my opinion, to pass up for those really, really risky altcoins, especially right now. But that's going to do it for today's video. I hope it helped. If it did, give me a like, give me a subscribe. Help the channel grow during this bearish period. Help a small channel like mine grow. It does go a long way. Until then, everyone, stay safe, and I will catch you on the next video.